Hello you guys, 40-day crushers, how's it going? Good to see you here. Today is day 16. Glad you guys made it. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to properly do a three-way call or a three-way chat for our PS3 process. We all know this process is very effective, it's very helpful, and it works. So make sure you're doing your PS3 three-way phone calls and three-way chats. Okay, hi Roz. So when you do a three-way phone call. Okay, now you're in a conversation with somebody, they see a video, they like what they've seen. At that point, when they start asking questions, you put them into a three-way phone call or a chat. If you feel it's somebody who would be more comfortable on the telephone, obviously do a phone call. If they're people who are chatters, do it in the chat. If they're people who are very busy, you might want to do it in the chat too, so that they can just get to it when they can. Either way you do it, you need to have a proper edification for the person you are bringing into the chat as the leader. Now I did a live on edification earlier, so you guys know how that works. But just make sure that your edification is spot on, and so that person thinks that whoever you're adding and pulling into that chat as the authority figure, that they feel like it's someone they should listen to. You know, don't just be like, hey, again, I said this last time, hey, this is Kenzie, she's my sponsor. Like, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. You need to give an edification, give some points as to why the person should be listened to and why they're valuable within the business. Now, if you're going to be doing a three-way phone call, obviously you're going to need to schedule that. When you do that, choose the person you want to use for the three-way phone call, contact them first, let them know you've got somebody interested, and say, what times are you available? When someone asks me that, I'll usually give them, three or four different, well, probably about 3 different time options. And then they can present that to their prospect, and the prospects can choose what time works best. And then set a reminder in the chat for the prospect. And you can also do it for the person doing the, you're bringing into the three-way as well, just as a reminder. But set that reminder and set an alarm with it, so 15 minutes before it'll go off. Now, another thing, if you're doing the phone call, contact that person about a half an hour before. So maybe set your alarm for about a half an hour before. And make sure they're going to be there for that phone call. Because if they're not, you need to let that leader know that they don't have to keep that time scheduled for that phone call, okay? I know sometimes people ignore us, they forget, whatever. But just verify about a half an hour before or earlier that your prospect's actually going to be there for the phone call. And make sure you get their phone number, and then you can then go ahead and update your leader and say, yes, we're still on for the call, or no, we're going to have to reschedule. Okay? Now if you're doing a three-way chat, those you can just start anytime. For me, I don't mind when people just start them. They don't have to ask me for a chat, they just start them. I keep my eye on the chats and I answer them as I can. The thing about doing these phone calls and chats is after you've done the introduction and the edification, introduce your prospect's name and introduce them to do the edification in the introduction and include both the people's names is what I'm trying to say. So include your prospect's names and the leader's name that you're bringing in. After you've done that, you literally mute your phone if it's on a phone call, or you take your fingers off the keyboard. You don't say or do another thing in that chat or phone call unless you're asked a direct question. You might think this sounds kind of snobby on the leader's side, but it's not, because if you bring a leader in and the person asks that leader a question, but you jump in and answer that question, you're basically negating the value of the leader being in the chat. So you just zip it, zip your lips. If it's a direct question, obviously you can answer it, but otherwise mute yourself, your fingers or your mouth, whichever you're using. Mute, mute, mute. There is a really great video on the PS3 process in your in your Planet back office. I encourage you to watch that because it is very helpful. So the reason we do these phone calls and these chats, the PS3, peak interest, show the plan, do a three-way. It's a process we have built into this, the structure of the business. The reason for them is to teach both you and your prospect at the same time how to overcome questions, how to answer, how to overcome objections, and answer questions. This process is incredibly important, especially for new people, because you'll get into the business and, let's face it, you're not going to know everything. Even me, I've been in nearly 3 years and I still don't know everything. So This process makes it so if you're brand new, you can come in, put people into the PS3 chat or phone call, three-way call, and you can still recruit without knowing anything other than how to pique interest and show the plan and start a chat or a three-way phone call. Okay, so when you come into this business, we want you to have fast success at first, and so you can just get going and get that momentum going. So use this process. If you're not using it already, if you're having a lot of people you're talking to but you're not closing them, you must start using this process because, you know, like me, I've recruited a lot of people, and so I know how to close people. Many other leaders in the company are the same way. They know how to close people. So you just need to use this process to get those people closed, okay? It's a really great way, like I say, to teach you and them at the same time, whether you're an old dog or whether you are just brand new. Use this. This is really great for, you know, creating that edification of the business that we've talked about before with the leverage that we have. This helps people know, okay, when I get started, all I have to do is show someone a video and start this three-way phone call or chat, and my leader can help me sign someone up. Use the, leverage the skills and the knowledge of your leaders. That's why they're there. That's why this whole structure exists this way. So leverage that. This is also really great for duplication because, like I say, if you get a new person in, they're like, yeah, oh, well, I can figure out how to send a video out and get someone interested and start this chat. And so that gets a duplication going because they don't think then that they have to know every single answer in the book. They know, oh, I've got a leader who's going to come into this chat or phone call and help me with this prospect. And that makes people feel comfortable when they sign up that they know that that's going to be available to them as well. You know, this is just all part of the process. It works. It's proven. Many of you know Aunt B. She always tells me the story about how when she started, she would have people ask her questions and she would say, I don't know the answer, but I know someone who does and I'll get you in touch with them. And she would. And, you know, as you guys know, she's built an incredible team. And so it works. It really works. Don't be afraid to use three-way phone calls or chats. I sometimes have people on my team say, oh, I don't want to bother you with a three-way. No, bother me. Your success is my success. I celebrate you when you succeed, and I'm happy to help, and I know all the other leaders feel the same way. So to recap, when you do a three-way phone call or chat, when it's a phone call, you must get a scheduled time. When it's a chat, start it when you want. At least that's how I do it. You may have a different leader, a leader that wants it different for the chats. When you start the phone call or chat, do a proper edification and introduction to both people, to both parties, and then mute your phone or your typing fingers. Now, stay in that chat, stay in that phone call and listen and follow along. There might be a point at that time where I say, hey, Joy, we've got some, your person's excited to join. Could you please put your link in the chat and we can get them signed up right now? So stay active in those chats, even though you're zipping your lips, okay? So that's what I have for you guys today. Keep being amazing in this fun, and really helpful 40-day Crush It Challenge, 41 day, right, Cindy? But keep going, keep being great, and just keep doing what you know needs to be done, and you will have success. Thanks for joining in today, and we'll be seeing someone new tomorrow. Take care, you guys. Goodbye.